First half of the first leg of the Champions League quarterfinals is done. Bayern beat Real Madrid 2-1. How good were they? Well, very good for the first 65 minutes. Arsenal beat Sporting 1-0. How good were they? Well, yeah, we're about to find out. Let's go. All right, here we go. Why don't we start with Bayern Munich and Real Madrid? We've got it up here on FOTMob. What a site this is. 2-1, Bayern Munich. Luis Diaz, you can see there, scored in the 41st minute just before half-time. And then within 45 seconds of the second half starting, Harry Kane scored the 46th minute. It was pretty much all Bayern Munich until about the 65th minute mark. And I'll talk about the substitutions that affected that in just a second when we get to the serious chair. But Real Madrid did score through Kylian Mbappe in the 74th minute. Now, that was something interesting. I guess let's talk about the Luis Diaz and the Trent Alexander-Arnold matchup, because everybody was talking about what would happen with the boys from Liverpool. Diaz has had a great first season at Bayern. Alexander-Arnold, not so much at Real Madrid. But here they were, matching up in the Champions League quarterfinals, first leg. It was very much a matchup of two halves. Diaz, as you can see with the goal in the first half, he was much better than Alexander-Arnold, and we saw the worst of Trent in that first half. He basically let Diaz out the back, the incisive ball from Gnabry, and Diaz puts it away for a deserved lead for Bayern Munich. They were the much better team in the first half. But then things started to change. Diaz had some impact still, yes, but Alexander-Arnold started to get going, and especially instrumental was he for the goal with Mbappe. That pass, that incisive pass to cut through the Bayern defence and get Mbappe that goal that he was coming close to, edging towards for the night. That was the best of Alexander-Arnold. So we saw both sides of it. Who wins it? It's probably pretty even, I guess. Trent created a goal and he gave one away. So I think you can probably call that a draw. But as far as the match itself, let's go through this timeline, because you can see there wasn't a whole lot happening in the first half as far as incidents and things, although it was still exciting to watch. When they go 2-0 up with that great finish from outside the box from Harry Kane, just clinical, especially when there was a question mark over his fitness. Would he play? Well, he did play and he made a massive impact. Elise was good too. He set that goal up, but it was, when I say set up, he officially gets the assist, but it was all Harry Kane, that goal. Then the subs started to happen, and then things started to shift. The last 25 minutes was really Real Madrid's game, and they got an important goal. It could be important in that second leg. We know how small the one-goal deficit is. Even though it's away, Madrid are still in this. But there was a little bit of a lack of composure, a loss of calmness from Bayern Munich. You can see these yellow cards adding up. Tar started to make some mistakes. Diaz didn't have a good last 10 minutes, a needless challenge to give him the yellow. Neuer gets carded. Musiala gets carded. This stuff's potentially important in the Champions League. It completely switched in that a team in Real Madrid that was giving the ball away all night through their relatively inexperienced and young team by comparison, with a couple of subs, they started to boss the game. And I'll tell you exactly who dominated and why in just a second. But one thing that was important or interesting for me was the difference in the age between starters. The average age of the Real Madrid starting 11 was 24.9. Bayern Munich was 28.9. 4 years difference. You could say it was a team of unks, but they looked experienced and they bossed the game in that first half. Manuel Neuer, he was incredible. I'll speak about him in just a second. In fact, why don't we go there now? It was a 2-1 win to Bayern Munich, and we need to get serious about a couple of things for 60 seconds. Over to the serious chair. This is the serious chair. You can see how serious it is by the chair and the lighting. It's because I'm about to be serious. 2 points I need to make. Manuel Neuer, number one, needs to come out of retirement for Germany. He's still so good. He's got the reflexes of a cat. He's 40 years old. The World Cup is just a couple of months away. Germany are not looking that good. Manuel Neuer, this is your last chance to win another World Cup. I know you retired more than a year ago from international football, but come on. We want to see the best goalkeeper for Germany at the World Cup. And number two, boy oh boy did Real Madrid give that ball away a lot. And they only looked good when Jude Bellingham came on. Now, I know he's had some fitness issues and injuries, and that's why he's not playing full minutes at the moment, but they need to sort that out quick, because the 18-year-old Thiago in midfield, he didn't look up to it today. He gave the ball away too easily, and he wasn't the only one. Real Madrid have serious problems if they can't get Bellingham consistently fit, because, man, that guy changed the game. Okay. That's all the seriousness we need. Back to the couch. Arsenal time. All right, we're back. I hope that wasn't too serious for you. Let's talk Arsenal and Sporting. It was a 1-0 victory, a very important victory for Arsenal. We know the form problems they've had. We know the struggles that they've had. They've lost consecutive games in the Cups, got beaten by Man City in the Carabao Cup final, got knocked out humiliatingly by Championship side Southampton in the FA Cup. But here they take an important 1-0 lead back to London. And it's thanks to Kai Havertz, in part at least. 56% possession for Arsenal. They had slightly more of the ball, but they had probably less good chances than Sporting did. They had 2 big chances here, 11 shots to 7. If you look at this timeline here, I mean, you can see there wasn't a whole lot happening in that first half. Don't go back and watch it. You didn't miss a whole lot. It started to get interesting about the hour mark. Zubimendi scores, or so he thinks, to put Arsenal in front, but it was an error from Viktor Gyökeres in not getting back on side. It was lazy. He needed to get back on side. He was in an offside position, plays Zubimendi through, and he scores, but it's disallowed rightly. Gyökeres was one of these big stories coming into this game because he's playing against his former side in Sporting. Would he have a big game against the team that he scored 97 goals for in 102 matches? No, he wouldn't. He'd only touched the ball 17 times total, almost invisible. And this was another error in his night. It says down here that he had a rating of 6.3. I think that's very generous. I think that's really generous from FotMob because I don't think he played a good game at all. But the guys who did play a good game, well, Kai Havertz, he was important when he came on in the 70th minute, as was Martinelli on the left, as was Daumann on the right. Now, Daumann wasn't perfect, but at least he brings some endeavour, some attacking flair and some energy to this team. But it was Martinelli's beautiful pass, little lob pass, through pass on FC26, beautifully controlled by Havertz in the box, one touch on his right, and then passes it through past the keeper Silva on his left. That was really just a beautiful finish and a great way for Arsenal to take the lead. And you can't say they didn't deserve it. Were they clearly the better team today? No, they weren't, but they hung in this game. And that was in no small part due to having guys like Declan Rice back, Leo Trossard back. They had some composure through the midfield and some composure in the back four. You know, David Raya played a great game as well. Every time he was called upon, he was fantastic. Made a brilliant save in the 6th minute to keep the scores 0-0, the shot from Suarez. Ben White didn't have his greatest week or last couple of weeks, and he wasn't perfect tonight again, but he was better tonight. He did his role. He gets a 7.4 there. Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, it just looked better for Arsenal tonight. Again, they didn't nail everything, but they nailed the important things, and they take a 1-0 lead back to London. No Saka, no Timber still, so to get this result was absolutely huge. Why don't we very, very quickly, before we run away, look at the games tomorrow, because we've got some absolutely huge games. PSG and Liverpool. I think PSG are just too good for Liverpool at the moment, who are struggling in so many areas. 3-0? Is that harsh to say? 3-0? Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. I think this will be an incredible 2-tie fixture. Who wins it? I think Barca go 2-1 up tomorrow, and then for the second leg, who the heck knows? All right, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, hit subscribe. There's more football to come on Kurt Can't Talk.